What's up guys? Vince Blaze here from Adventures Within Media. I am currently at the Leaf here in Winnipeg. It's like hella humid right now. I am here with my friend Lyndon. We're here to try out the new Cinepeer Crane 4E gimbal by Zhiyun, or Zhiyun. We're gonna be testing it out. We're gonna be trying some of its features, getting our first impressions, and just kind of getting a feel for how the gimbal works and how it operates. And yeah, maybe this will be a new tool that we can incorporate into our workflow and sort of shooting style.
Hey, I'm Lyndon, hobby wedding videographer, wedding filmmaker, and I do a little bit of YouTube content on the side. Today we're looking at the Cinepeer Crane 4E, kind of the big brother to the Gimbal Cinepeer 3E. Some of the things I'm excited really to look at is the fact that it's so compact for its price point and its payload. I think it's able to do up to 10 pounds, just shy, 9.9 pounds. So at 500-ish Canadian dollars, this thing is competing with $1,000-ish gimbals from other companies. Zhiyun or Zhiyun is actually they're kind of in that area where they're also competing with themselves because they got so much to offer. So it's gonna be nice to be able to test this out, especially like budget-minded videographers, budget-minded approach towards filmmaking. This is exactly what I think we will be looking for.
He's the reason why we're here today. He was sent the Crane 4E. I keep forgetting the name.
Yeah.
So we're gonna be checking it out today. But yeah, huge shout out to Lyndon for letting us use his gimbal.
If you're used to having multiple lock positions, just don't do that.
Yeah, so when I was shooting on just the Ronin S at first, it didn't have anything, so I was used to pretty bare bones. But now that I've gotten my RS4, I was like used to locking in position as you're getting it ready, because then it's just easier to set up the camera first and then whatever. But all right, now that we've got the gimbal in the right position, it actually does lock. Okay, but it doesn't lock.
There's no
position.
Yeah, so there's I know.
So you can balance it relatively easily.
So this one will slide from front to back.
Okay.
Have the arm forward.
Arm forward, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there you go.
Arm forward, yeah, okay. Arm forward. I am not.
It starts right there, yeah. That's where it starts.
All right.
And then you'll.
And now I can lock it?
Yeah. That's it.
Oh, wow.
So now is the dance of balancing.
I should probably balance it like Lyndon midway through the lens. So pro little tip for people who are getting into gimbals. Typically when you're shooting on a gimbal, you want it to be balanced at all times. So you kind of want to have it in the position that it's going to be shooting in while you're balancing it. So for example, right now I don't have my screen out, so I probably should have my screen out as I'm balancing it, just so that way it knows how much weight is on each side. And so a pro tip is because you're probably going to be zooming in and out, that's the whole point of having a zoom lens on a gimbal, is when instead of balancing at 24 or at 70, you balance in the middle in order to put less strain on the gimbal when you're going to 24 and 70. So it's just a little bit of a pro tip to make it easier on the gimbal. Alrighty, so we got this first axis done. Nope. As soon as you press the log button, it changes.
Yeah.
Love it. Let's turn this bad boy on.
On the right side.
On the right side.
Yeah, and it's just a hold, single hold. If you're used to DJI, you're used to double tapping, but this is, yeah, single hold.
Alright, it's on. Alright, what we got going on here? We've got modes, hand follow. I like that you can mode here on the RS. You have like a physical one, which isn't a bad thing either, but I guess a preference for to follow. Okay, so pan follow. What do we got going on here? Oh, we gotta unlock these bad boys.
Oh, is it locked still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, it's cool. I'm gonna try slowing down. I'm gonna go right into the settings, just make it nice and dirty.
Yeah, do it.
The trigger, this would be not the trigger, wheel control parameter settings, focus parameter settings. Joystick speed.
There you go, yeah,
you
joystick.
go.
Yeah.
Okay, we wanna go low. Can we go customize? Customize.
You can, yeah.
Oh, this is slow enough for me. Alright, cool. I like to have a really slow, sort of movement up and down and sideways with the joystick. That way I can do the rest and really fine tune it to what I want it. Especially when we're shooting on a gimbal for like B-roll and stuff like that. All right, so right now I'm just shooting at 24 frames per second just to get a good idea of how stable the gimbal is. When you shoot at 60 frames or like higher frame rates and you slow it down, obviously everything is going to be smooth at that point. So just really trying to get a feel of how smooth and how much stabilization this actually does. I'd say it's handling the camera really well. It's a relatively, I'd say, heavy rig for sort of a DIY run and gun shooter. Nothing too crazy. Obviously I like this accessory. It's really nice to be able to just walk around with this. Overall, first impressions right now, it's super stable. I don't feel any shake. I was a little bit skeptical going into this. I've never used anything else but DJI. I think it's super stable. It does feel like the balance is a little bit top heavy on the cameras. So obviously it's a lighter rig, which is nice when you're carrying it around, but it does, I find, put a little bit of a strain on having to maintain a little bit more push and like hold when you are pulling here compared to when you have something that's a little bit more heavier. That's normal, it's a gimbal, so we're working around it. And yeah, we're just gonna keep shooting around and testing out even more how this handles the camera. One thing that I usually do and I shoot a lot of on gimbals is not necessarily on a 24 wide to get the huge expansive sort of like look. I really like detail shots, and I think that detail shots, compressed look, either whether it's for like a wedding ring that you're just panning across, or like, you know, leaves, etc., to just add a little bit of motion to things. And so it's really important when I'm testing out a gimbal to have it at 70 or as much punch as I can to sort of get a parallax effect where you're really moving sideways, but how well does it keep the camera balanced? So that's one sort of detail that I look for when testing out the stability, and that's really important for me personally. And honestly, this gimbal, on these first few shots, and I've been shooting a couple of details of leaves and stuff like that, I've been holding up really well. So yeah, props to Zhiyun for this Crane 4E. This is it's pretty dope.
Initial thoughts is like easy to use. That's like out the box, easy to use, but it's also tempered with the price point. Going into this, I know exactly what I want out of a gimbal, but if the price is right, you know, all of a sudden, little hang-ups here and there. You mentioned the balance, top heavy. I'm almost okay with some of the little annoyances, just because of the price point. But so far, really easy to use. I want to spend a little bit more time customizing the settings to exactly how I want to shoot.
True.
But all in all, I enjoyed it. Yeah,
and I think it's, you know, if you've used the gimbal, this is a great gimbal. You're not going to be surprised by anything. It's not mind-blowing. Doesn't have like crazy features. But it has everything that you need, and it has I would say there's still some pretty high-end features that you would, you know, maybe only expect in a higher-end gimbal that you have. And for someone who's doing a lot of like run and gun shooting, whether it's weddings, whether it's like travel stuff, or just even, you know, sort of event stuff, it's a really good option, again, considering the price, because, you know, when you're considering the alternatives, they're twice, if not 3 times the cost of that. You said it's 500 Canadian?
Yeah, it's like 530 or something like that.
That's actually wild. Overall, I enjoyed it. Hopefully we'll get to test it out more. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to hit the thumbs up. If you guys want even more details on Lyndon's thoughts on this, on the gimbal, he will be making a full video on this, and he'll have a little bit of time to write down some notes and sort of give his honest opinion on it, on the first impression. He probably will do a review at some point, so if you guys want to check that out, feel free to check out Lyndon's channel. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.